Hello, I'm Katie Knight, and welcome to Can You Put Me on Guest List, the podcast that interviews some of the most interesting and successful professionals in the dance music industry. Today's guest is Rob Yilmaz. He's marketing manager and booker at Lock and Load Events, who are based in London, and have organised huge events such as SW4, Together at Amnesia Ibiza, Pyramid London, and many more.
The hardest thing is maintaining the level of that brand and level of the talent and level of the club.
In this episode, we talk about ideas to sell tickets for events, the importance of street promo, how to get DJs to post event flyers, Ibiza and its many challenges, and a lot more. So I'm going to stop rambling on now and let you guys listen for yourselves. Enjoy. Rob, hello, how are you?
I'm good, thank you very much.
Thank you for letting me into your lovely home today.
No worries.
And having a chat. It feels good because I feel like me and you have worked together for a really long time, but we haven't spent a lot of time with each other.
No, it's been mainly email based, which is a shame.
I know, this is nice, This is good. Right, so let's just start from the beginnings. How did you get into the music industry?
So, it all started when I was 18. I lived in Dubai. I basically studied sports in Dubai, and I came to Bath University to do coach education. So all my kind of viewpoint was I'm going to do sports and probably do management of sport of some sort. And then we went to university, and then I always liked to throw parties. I used to do in Dubai. So I basically used to just run house parties with my friends. Used to get in trouble with my parents quite a lot because I'd run stuff when they weren't there. And so I kind of liked hosting. Yeah. Essentially. And then when we went to Bath, we had students' unions events, which meant that basically every Friday there used to be an event on campus, and we went there several times, and it was awful. So me and my friends thought, there has to be something better in town for students. There wasn't. The music was awful, so we decided to go into a club in town, which was called Club Excel. It wasn't the best of spaces, but we went there, and that was the only Friday night in town, which wasn't a club in town, which wasn't doing a night. So we went there, and we had a discussion with the club owner, who basically said, yeah, we'll try you out for a night. So we basically started running a night called Delight, which actually came from, I'm Turkish. My friend said, they made fun of me saying Turkish Delight, and the name kind of came from there. And we basically started promoting a night on the 5th of March it was, and we started flyering on campus, talking to our friends, and that was our first event, basically. We had like 500 people in, and the concept was good music, which back then was just progressive electronic music. Yeah. And the first night was amazing. All of our friends came down, and then the second one was awful. We had like 20 people there, and we thought basically people thought it was a one-off. So we basically, after that, we started promoting it from then on, and it became one of the biggest nights in town. And we did that for about 4 years. So it was me and four friends actually, and a designer as well. So that's how we started basically running nights. We were earning money, quite a lot of money, and ended up like making it on the Friday and spending it on the Monday when we went out, basically. So it was quite ad hoc. So we didn't really have any ambitions to do anything more than that. But then in our second year, we started the company, and we branched out to Bristol eventually. And then what happened was, after 4 years, it kind of reached its peak. Yeah. What happened was we couldn't afford to. All we did was every week we invested what we earned into the night, into props, into concepts, into DJs. And then it came to a point where the generations changed. So our friends left university. The word of mouth didn't spread enough because we weren't first and second years trying to promote that night anymore. And new people came through, and we basically kind of lost touch with the students. And then at that point, I was looking at jobs in the industry in London, and I saw an internship pop up at Lock and Load. And I went one summer, July 2014 actually. I went for an interview, and they told me that I was potentially a bit more qualified than an intern. And they told me that the timing was right, and they're actually looking to bring someone on. So they'll give me a 3-month trial period. And if I do well, they'll give me the job. So after that, they gave me the job.
And you've been there ever since?
Yeah, I've been there ever since. It's been 4.5 years now.
Oh, amazing. Yeah. So you're marketing manager there, yeah, and you're also a booker.
Yeah, so basically I started originally as just a marketing assistant. So I was helping my boss and my workmates with just running the promotion of the events, carrying out the plans that were put together. And then over the years, certain people have left, and I've moved into a position where I book all the club shows we do across the year. and I book Ibiza, and I book SW4 Festival. Obviously, this is in tandem with my director as well, but I do the majority of the legwork when it comes to the main shows. And when it comes to the festival, my director deals with a lot of the big bookings, the headliners, and I book out the rest of the festival. So there's about another 100 acts.
What do you think is the hardest part of your job?
I'd probably with events, it's because our job is not done until every ticket's sold. So if an event's not sold out, there's always work to do, and that's probably the hardest thing because, you get some events, you go through some quarters where every event's going well, but at the end of the day, and there's some events where you go through periods and they're all just shockers. So if an event's not sold out, there's always more to do. So that's probably the hardest, where you never put an event on and they all sell out. So I kind of, when I'm just in the office or just not in the office, I'm always thinking, how do we get this event sold out? So that is probably the hardest part of it. It never stops, but not in the sense of never stops compared to other jobs. It's like, if an event's not done, there's always more you can be doing on that event to get it where it needs to be.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it. And also it can be the pressure sometimes, but I'm young. Like, I don't, I enjoy my job. So I kind of try to put that pressure on me in a nice way, and you just have to, because it is quite cutthroat sometimes.
Yeah.
So you need to also learn how to turn around and go, it doesn't matter that much.
Yeah.
So that's very important.
And you've obviously worked on so many events since you started. Yeah. You've put so many marketing plans together.
Yes.
Do you find that you kind of use the same formulas for other events, or do you just treat each event as it comes as an individual?
So when it comes to timelines, in the sense of, okay, we have certain ways of promoting. So, for example, if a big act comes to London, we do something called the sign-up process. So we ask the fan to, the artist to post on their socials, and we get sign-ups. So they go, sign up to have early bird access to my tickets. That concept is the same with a lot of the artists. So we have a way of going up. So you post this then, and then we release the tickets. That's how we do a lot of our events. So we galvanize the fan base in a city and go, X artist is coming, do you want to see him and get cheaper tickets and a mix from this artist? Sign up so you can have first access to them. So that concept doesn't we champion that concept a lot, and that's what I learned when I came to Lock and Load. That doesn't change a lot, that way of promoting, but you have to, when the assets and the concepts behind each event differ a lot. So if I'm going to promote a drum and bass event, it's completely different the way I talk to people and the artwork to a house event or a techno event or to a trance event, because you're talking to different people. And you need, there's obviously some events where you do where like it transcends genres and just loads of people come. Normally they just sell out quick, so you don't really need to do much on those events. But when it comes to a drum and bass headliner or a house or a techno headliner, the way you present the promotion is slightly different, whether it be more slick or more in your face or more understated. You need to approach it in a different. Every show needs to be approached in a different way when it comes to talking to the public.
What would you say the percentage is between marketing online and marketing offline?
For us?
Yeah.
I'd say we're one of the companies that this comes from above as well, that very they do not forget that street promotion is very important, because what's happened is obviously it's gone from street promo to online promo really heavily, but you can't forget that the online market is so saturated. There's so much stuff going on online. You need to back that up with street promo. Like the way our percentage is like 75-25 online and street, but there's a lot of people now who will do like 5% street. But we do, when it comes to our campaigns, we do street posters, we do like flyer packs outside clubs, so there'll be like a pack with our advert on it and flyers inside. We do billboards, tube campaigns. So street campaigns are really important still. However, the only thing with street campaigns is you can't measure. So you can't go, oh, 1 million people walk past my tube advert in the last 3 weeks. How many tickets have we sold?
You don't know.
No idea. But an event can't live simply online. And we're seeing this with some events. And there's actually an event coming up, which I feel that it needs more than just living online. It needs to step out of that, online, or at least, stay in the online, but also have like a street presence, because let's not forget how many people actually work and live around London who are the people who come to our clubs. So I would say 75-25. And we probably will never, because my director came from the clubs. He used to run turnmills. And he, his philosophy was just street promotion. So he always will keep that within him. And there's always sometimes even where he pushes a lot and then I go maybe not as much, but you can't forget that street promotion, putting a flyer into someone's hand can be very effective, because as soon as they go on Facebook, they're bombarded with this event there, that event there, and it's just like, if you give it to someone, you have their attention for at least 10 to 15 seconds, and it's undivided attention.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say before, actually, because sometimes I think to myself, there's so much going online. We're bombarded with so much information every single day, and there's so many offers and so many events going on. Sometimes I do think to myself, like, is it harder trying to promote an event online? It's getting harder because there's just so much going on than it probably is offline.
Yeah, it's interesting because or at least with online, you can control and see what's working and do A/B testing and go, okay, we're going to put 3 assets out there promoting the same thing, and then after a week you get the results. Yeah. You look at them and go, okay, we're going to use this now for this audience, and then we're going to use that for this audience. So I would probably still prefer, I prefer online because it's not preferring, it's just you can just see what's working and what's not, and then you'll also get more creative with online stuff.
Yeah, definitely.
So whereas with street promo, it also can be seen quite like, some promoters won't even do it because they feel it looks a bit tacky sometimes, maybe street promo, but I don't. As long as the flyers we do, when we give a flyer to a person, it's like a fold out flyer. It's like, it opens up, it's like 8 panels on it, and it's like a proper story. Like, you don't want to, if it's a big event, you don't want to give someone an A6 flyer, which is like 2-sided. It's like, why do I want to come to this? But if you give them a flyer which folds out and there's like a big poster in the middle and it talks about each of the artists and the venue, the punter goes, oh, they actually care about the event. So the conversion rate of that is high, even though you probably can't track it.
Yeah. What do you think about Facebook? Because I know there's a lot of people at the moment saying that from a marketing point of view, that Facebook isn't giving the same results as it probably used to. Do you think that's true? Or do you think it's just that you have to really understand how Facebook works and the tools that it provides?
I think that with Facebook is as soon as you understand it, it changes.
Yeah.
So it's like you get the hang of it. Like, Facebook's amazing because it's we live and breathe on Facebook, and a lot of DJs do as well. But as soon as you get the hang of something on Facebook, they either change the algorithms or they go, okay, this works now. Obviously, they introduce extra tools, which is really important, but they do change a lot. So you need to have your finger on the pulse there. You need to have, like, I work with, Dave Earnshaw, and he has his finger on the pulse. So as a promoter, you need to have someone on board who is just living and breathing social media. Like, I know what I'm talking about when it comes to that, but at the same time, you need someone who's like looking at the stats, looking at the new functions. So Facebook is a great tool, and you can't undermine it, but you have to be constantly evolving and speaking to someone who's constantly on it, promoting different types of media so you can see what works. Because sometimes it's this that works, and then 4 months later and then you do that all the time, and then it stops working, and you're like, why is it not working? Oh, it's because now Facebook want to see this, and then they change because at the end they control what they give to people. So that's the only issue there. As soon as you think you got it, they change it, and they're in control. And when they're in control, it's annoying.
It's quite confusing. Yeah. I find it really confusing. Sometimes I have no idea where I would go with this now.
Yeah.
But you just need, as you said before, need people that really understand and just live and breathe social media.
Definitely. And the stats and are geeks, essentially. They want to know, like, what's working and what's not. Like, I love when ads work, but if I look at, like, loads of statistics, I literally stop reading after, like, the 4th line. Because I just don't, it's just too much. But when someone's there going, okay, this is what we should do, this is what we should do, and I go, great. Obviously, I question it. I go, maybe that's not the right thing to do, or we're not at the end. But it still does stem from the marketing person, because they go, this is who we need to target, and this is the content we need to target those people with, and then the person who does the social media will tell you if it's working or not. So at the end, you still lead the charge in what you want displayed to people. So that's really important. That comes from us. We the social media managers will give input into that, but they will take our lead in. If I say to them, I want to post this, they might go, tweak it a little bit, because that's going to perform better on socials. And I'll go, and then we'll do it. Or I'll go, oh, do we have to? And then they'll go, well, the stats don't lie. And then you kind of do both ways. And sometimes you're right, and sometimes they're right.
Yeah. How have you found getting DJs to promote events? Because from my experience at Amnesia, I've had so many times where I've found it really hard to get some DJs, not all DJs obviously, but certain DJs that won't post, or they'll do like one small little post.
Yeah.
And sometimes I think to myself, well, it benefits you as well. Obviously, you want your show to be packed. Have you found that problem as well? Because I know that I'm not the only person that has said this.
Yeah, completely. It's just, it's an interesting one with that because it's true, and you have to see it from the other side of the manager as well. So if you're an artist or a manager, and if you're a popular one, imagine how many requests you get of people asking to post. And that's where it becomes like, when I first started, I was thinking, God, why are they not posting? Are they not like, are they not supporting the show? Are they not doing this? And they want to do that. But you have to find ways. You have to create content for them to post. So you might like create like a lineup artwork or something that you plan to push out to your fans. A lot of the time, that doesn't work for those artists because A, it's not on brand, or B, it's just they just don't like the look of it. But you have to find. Well, that's why Instagram stories are so good, because Instagram started something and all artists go, yeah, we'll post an Instagram stories. And it's like, yeah, it's fine. And the reach that Instagram stories is getting these days is far outdoing Facebook at points, but it only lives there for 24 hours. And for the artists, it's great because they can go, great, it's a platform that we can just post and it's fine, and it's not going to live there. And, if you don't like it, it'll go away.
My feed isn't going to be full of flyers.
This is it. And that's why the dark outs come in, and they can post flyers without it popping up on their main home feed, but it will like pop up in people's news feeds when they scroll. So, yeah, but at the end of the day, the way we approach it is we go to an artist, look, we do a show with you. If you let us do what we want to do, this show will be sold out. 100%. Because what we do is we go there, we engage their fan base, we get the sign-ups, and we sell out quick. We've done it with loads of artists, in London, and it works. But even with the festivals, we've done it with Faithless, Chemical Brothers, Andy C, we tell them just, let us have your socials and we'll present a plan to you. Go, here's the plan. And it will be like 3 organic posts, and we'll create the content, and they'll agree to it. And we know how to engage their fan base. But then sometimes the artists go, they push back. They go, no, not this, not this, not this. And then what happens is, sometimes, a lot of the time, we push back and go, guys, if you want this event to be successful and if you want to sell out, you need to listen to us. Like, we're not doing it to be difficult. You need to do these steps in order to achieve that goal of the sellout. And sometimes they don't agree and it becomes a slog because they haven't given the visibility for that event on their socials, which is essentially where all their fans lie. That's where you find them, unless you go to a bespoke event with 7,000 fans of an artist. It's difficult to engage them. Online is where they live. So it is difficult, but if you get it right and if they listen to you, then it all works. And we're not asking to be just be on their socials every day, all day. It's just like 3 posts over 2 weeks, and we'll manage to engage your fans somehow to sign up, and then we'll give them a ticket link and they'll buy. It's simple in theory, but when it comes to dealing with managers and what they want to post, and you kind of sometimes have, some social media managers will go, oh, our merchandise is dropping next week. It's like, no, you must realise this is really important. Like, this is bigger than your merchandise. If you want to sell out your London show, you need to give us priority. And then sometimes you do get agents involved when because you book a show on a certain premise. You go, okay, this is what we want to do with the artists, and we even try to write it in the contract and go, these are the posts that you have to do. Obviously, sometimes it gets pushed back, but when you do festival headliners, we put in the contract, and
that's cool.
We agree to those terms because we're paying a lot of money for the artist, and if the artist doesn't support and get his fans galvanized, which we will do for him, then it's a non-starter, because there's a lot of headline talent out there who will get paid a lot of money and then not support, and it's like, hold on a minute, like, you are, at the end of the day, we're they're benefiting our festival, but we're paying you a lot of money, so you have to help support.
Yeah, definitely. Big question, what do you think sells tickets? Is it the lineup? Is it the venue? Is it the concept, or is it the promotion that goes into the whole event?
Well, obviously there's a bit of both, a bit of everything in that. But if you, there's no doubt that if you have a good brand, you can pretty much sell anything, in my opinion, because you've seen. Even I'll go back to the examples of my night in Bath. The venue, Club XL, was probably one of the worst spaces I've ever done an event in. One of the worst. It was crap. It was a shithole. It was literally stuck in the late 80s. There had been no refurbishments done. It's a good space, but just old. It doesn't look good. As an 18, 19-year-old student, you don't want to go there. It doesn't look fun. But what we did was we managed to get everyone there because of word of mouth. People liked our brand and people liked us. So for 4 years, we had 1,000 people going every single week to a shit club because of the brand we created.
Yeah.
And I think that's what it boils down to. Like, at the end of the day, people will come for talent. There's no doubt about that, And that's what the ultimate aim is, to have a brand where people come for you, not the DJs. And you obviously see stuff out there, Elro and Abode, and how they've done it in recent years, where they don't have to pay loads of money for top talent. And, and that is the ultimate thing, but it's so difficult to get there. So sometimes normally it's like you kind of find a balance. It's very, very difficult to have like, an amazing brand and then pay like nothing for it. It's very difficult, and that will soon outgrow. So even brands that I've just mentioned, there will come a point where they will also become not old, but they'll have to start doing something different.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do something, because people want to go to new things. That's what people want. They want to go. Have you gone to this new thing like Printworks when it opened? Have you been to Printworks? Have you been to this place like? And now soon that venue, as amazing it is, it will become a norm in the city. So people won't be like. They'll be like, oh, have you been to this other new place? And then that's where people start going. So I guess you come into the venue. So even places like Amnesia, it's a world-renowned venue. It's a historic venue. So you already have that trick up your sleeve. You go, where's Amnesia? Like, you need to go to Amnesia. So
yeah, that's like, did you remember that video that I think it was about 2 or 3 years ago, and they filmed people that were queuing up to go to Ants at Ushuaia, and they interviewed I think like 4 or 5 people, asking them who was playing that night, and literally I think there was one person that said Andre Oliva, that nobody else knew, and it just goes to show sometimes that people just go for the venue as well.
This is it. Like, that's why that question, if there is no one answer to that question, like it's not just one thing or another, it's a culmination of things. Like, that's why certain brands want to be associated with certain clubs, because it becomes a winner. It's like, how can you not, a really good brand, an amazing club, it's like, okay, we got it. And like, normally, and sometimes it's all three. So you have the talent, and when that all comes together, then you're literally formidable. Like, you see it with like Music On and Marco Carola for what he did over the years, but he's grafted for years. So you have like Marco Carola, massive act, Music On, big brand, best club in the island, Amnesia. They all come together and you get like thousands of people every week. So, so that's it's not really an answer. But
no, but it's an explanation.
It's an explanation. You ideally, but you can do it with, if you have a really, really good brand, you can fill pretty much any club you want, because people have that loyalty. And then if you're top talent, you can, again, fill pretty much any club. But then, the hardest thing is maintaining the level of that brand, and level of the talent, and level of the club.
Yeah. Do you give yourself goals? Like, do you say, for example, if we've sold so many tickets by this date, we know it's going to be a successful event? Yeah.
So we will have we've done enough events at those. So each specific venue will have like a target. So, for example, if you're like a Brixton Academy event, let's say, if you're at New Year's Eve, let's say Brixton Academy New Year's Eve, if you're on 3,500 tickets by the start of December, the capacity is 4.5, you're going to sell out. So you have to hit, and you have to hit certain targets. So Electric Brixton, 1,800 capacity. If you hit 1,400 tickets with 2 weeks to go, you're going to sell out 1,700 capacity. So there's definitely, when you work in venues, like in London, or any city, when you're familiar with the crowd, the people who buy the tickets and the venue, you quickly understand the buying patterns of the clubbers who go to that specific venue. So you go, if I hit this by that, you'll sell out. But as a promoter, no matter what position you're in, you're always optimistic. You go, no, we're going to do this. We're going to do this. Yeah. And sometimes we had Paco Asuna at Electric Brixton 2 years ago in November, and with like Matador, Egbert, and it was on 300 tickets the week of the show, and we were like, I was like, what's going to happen? Like, it was a disaster. It was a disaster, and we sold 1,300 tickets in the last week.
Oh wow!
So we sold out the event like
the week before,
the week of the show, and we hit like 1,700 tickets, and it was like, and then I was like, the majority were Italians in there, so like Italians and Spanish are just so relaxed when it comes to buying advance tickets.
Yeah,
so relaxed. They don't, most of them don't buy it. So to be able to, I'd rather like, it's difficult because as a promoter you go, oh, they're a late buying crowd, but you can't like
rely on
that, and like we even had, when we had Pyramid at 338, and we sold like 1,500 tickets in like 3 weeks. capacity is like just over 2. So it's like I was living and breathing that show to ensure we sold it out. But it was nerve wracking. We were on like 500 tickets at the end of October. So that's like 3 weeks to go. 500 tickets, like literally, and like a fifth of the capacity done, and then it was quite intense because obviously Martin Amnesia was like, okay, this is my first pyramid event outside of the. I was like, yeah, we're gonna do it, and I was like, oh my god, this is.
They're
like,
the days where you say this is the tough days of my job, right?
That was hard, but we sold it out the day before the event. And it was a big success, and now
Incredible.
It's at Printworks.
Yeah.
And if it didn't sell that event out, I couldn't have gone to Printworks and gone, I want to stick this event at your club, because they'll go, what are you talking about? It's not going to do the ticket. So, yeah, it's you have to hit certain ticket targets. But then again, there are anomalies. But you can't live by anomalies, because you'll just always fail. Because, if it's an anomaly, it's a great surprise. So that was great, but you can't go, and when someone asks you how's it going, you have to be like, well, we're not where we want to be.
Yeah.
And then if it does well in the last few weeks, that's great. But you just always, that's why it's so important to go to a good start.
Yeah.
Which then boils down to my concept of galvanizing friends, punters, to buy tickets. So if you get like 1,000 people signing up and 500 people buy tickets in a venue which is 1,500 capacity, you've sold a third of the tickets. It's going to sell out. It's fine, like months in advance. But that's why we don't go on sale. Like a lot of like big promoters will basically get an artist and they'll just go, tickets now on sale.
Yeah.
But it's like, sell like 10 tickets. Okay. Like that's why we try to create some tension, like create the tension and then release the tickets. And when you release tickets, you get a flurry of people buying it and talking about it and momentum. And then you have momentum from the off. Yeah. And then, that's why we never really do events where you just book an artist and go, tickets now on sale, because there's no momentum. And if you don't have any momentum, it's really hard to start momentum. So we create the momentum before we sell a single ticket.
I've always found that you guys are quite creative as well when it comes to anything like that, aren't you? And you always have new ideas. It's not just like...
Yeah, we have to. We have to, because we're just not like, we're not like some massive company that can do all these like worldwide tours. So like our turf is London. That's our even if like big artists go do like UK wide tours or American tours, we just go, okay, we're your London promoter. And what they'll do is that those artists will do shows with one big promoter, Live Nation, for example, and they'll do like world tours. But for the London show, it's us, because we know how to promote in London, and the artists we work with like that approach. But you have to be creative, and that's the fun part of the job. Coming up with like cool concepts, and that does come from above, from our director as well, who's very, very involved in the creative process. Because like if you put out shit, you're gonna get shit. Yeah, that's just a fact.
Yeah, definitely.
And sometimes you get away with it. When it's a really, really, sometimes if it's a really, really big artist and you don't get the artwork quite right, but because it's so massive, it just sells.
Yeah.
But then normally when it's not a massive artist, you need to make it look much bigger than it actually is. Like portray the artist in a way that put him on a pedestal and go, he is literally a god. Like that's what we did with Andy C. Like we made him into this. We promoted him as a guy who's like larger than life. That's why he's done like Ali Pali and Wembley Arena. Amazing. And of course he's an amazing DJ.
Yeah,
so we help him get there, but
So now talking a little bit about Ibiza, because obviously Lock and Load have had a huge presence on the island. This is the 9th year that Together is Amnesia.
Yeah.
Do you think as the years have gone by, it's got easier because you know how it works and what doesn't, or harder due to the amount of competition that there is?
I think it's harder to promote because the market is more oversaturated. However, as you get more experience, you make less mistakes, and you start and you also learn from the mistakes you've made. So it's a bit. I don't know. It's a bit of a tough question because the market is just more oversaturated. There's no doubt about it. On the Tuesdays at Together, like even when I first joined, it was a cock seat, and he obviously smashed every Tuesday there, but we held our own. But then you get High opening, and then you get Resistance down the road, and suddenly Tuesday night, which used to be like nothing,
is now
the most popular night on the island. It's like, what's going on? So it has got more difficult because there's new things opening, there's more people trying to do parties, there's less people on the island, and then it's getting more difficult. So you have to think more creatively to sell the events. But I would prefer to be in that position then like I would prefer to have those years of experience
100%.
and then go, okay, I'll deal with this. It's cool. Instead of going into a market where it's less saturated and try to do something. I think this is more challenging, even though it might be harder. I'd rather have that experience and know, and because when you have more experience, you just make less mistakes, which makes you feel good, and then you basically build confidence and momentum, and you know what you're doing. But what happens is there's new challenges that come into place. Things like I just said, the new nights opening, undercutting people, doing free tickets, and you're suddenly like, where's this come from? Like, when did this start happening? So it's probably, I prefer, it's harder, but I prefer it.
Yeah, because you had so much experience behind you now, so you kind of know what's going to work and what isn't.
That's it. But then sometimes you don't even know. You just do it like at the end, you think it's going to work. And then, but if you can't go, oh, this worked 4 years ago, so it's going to work now. So that's why you always have to have, you have to be evolving, going, is this going to work? And then a lot of it, sometimes it is, it is not guessing, but trying to predict. It's all about knowing your market at the end of the day and knowing. So when we do stuff with Amnesia, we book the talent, we know our crowd, we know their big lineups, and then Amnesia know the island. So when we hand it over to you guys, when it's like street promo and stuff like that, Martin has a relatively clear idea of what he wants to do, what works on the island and what doesn't.
Do you find it a lot different promoting here in London than to Ibiza? Is Ibiza just a completely different world of its own?
Yeah, I would say so. I think the thing with the way we do the promotion in Ibiza is like we obviously book a lot of the talent and then we do all the marketing online, but we're not on the ground every time. So I can't fully compare it because I'm more entrenched into London. But I would probably prefer to be entrenched in London as well. I think Ibiza can be quite hectic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I'm sure you know.
I think hectic is definitely the word.
Yeah.
What would be one of the proudest moments in your career?
I would probably say selling out Southwest for last year. So basically what happened was SW4 has been a genuine event that's sold out for the last 15 years. But what happened was when we booked, I think it was like 4 years ago when we booked the Chemical Brothers, the musical shift. Chemical Brothers was like a dream booking for the festival, amazing act. But what happened was we used to showcase a lot of house and techno at the festival before like 2010, and then there was 2 separate days. There was like a bass day, like drum and bass day, and there was like a house and techno day. But as the years evolved and you had other festivals come through like Junction to Elro and all the like Amsterdam festivals, which are like literally an hour flight away, Eastern Electrics, they specialize in house and techno. And when you specialize in house and techno, if you're a fan of house and techno, you just want to go there. You don't want to go to a festival which does everything. So we started really suffering those 2 years, those like 2016 and 17. We started suffering because we were booking these massive acts. We had the Amnesia stage with Marco Carolla, Sven Vath, Loco Dice, Martinez Brothers.
Yeah, I remember.
And we didn't sell out. And it's like, how can we book literally the biggest acts in techno and drop a huge amount of tickets compared to the other day, which sold out, and to previous years. So we started like moving. 2018 was the year where we decided to kind of do a big partnership with Capital FM. So what happened was we dropped the underground house and techno, which was like, we were basically chasing the techno ticket. We were like trying to chase it, like, oh, come to us, like do this. And there was only so many people who like house and techno in London, even though there's loads. We were trying to fight with other festivals, so we kind of let go something that was already moving away from us instead of trying to pull it back in.
Yeah.
And we embraced a slightly more poppy version. So, like, we have Martin Garrix on a Saturday now, Oliver Heldens, Charmy Amala, Craig David. We moved slightly into more of a commercial sphere. But there's so many, which is a more commercial sound. So there's so many people in London that don't like house and techno. They just want to listen to big room house, potentially, and listen to Craig David and do this and not listen to house and techno. So we did that in 2018, and that was actually the year that my immediate boss left. So I was working underneath him for 3-4 years, and he left right after we made that transition. And my boss asked me, "Do you want to step into that role?" And I was like, "Of course I do, because I'm not going to let anyone else come in and just tell me what to do." Because the person it was Jeff, and he taught me a lot of things. And, I wanted to move into his position because that's the progression I saw within the company. And that year we sold out the festival with me leading the campaign, which was great. And there's a multitude of factors. That there is the factor of the talent that we booked, and the capital partnership helped a lot. But the fact that I led the marketing team to sell that festival out after not selling out in the previous 2 years and it being really tough was a big moment for me, I think. And but you can't do it without your team. You can't do it. I couldn't do it by myself. But I felt like I try to drive the team, and my boss listens to me a lot. But I learned a lot of the stuff working under Jeff.
Yeah.
And I looked at what he did in certain situations, but a lot of the big decisions were left to me in the sense of when do we, simple stuff like, which is important in marketing, when do we go up in price for the festival? Which acts do we announce at what point? Who are we marketing? Who are we targeting to? Are we going to do a street campaign this year? And all these key things that basically end up selling your festival out.
Yeah.
I was leading, which was good. And that was probably the proudest moment, I would say. But there comes a lot of stuff. Even that 338 show with Amnesia, like that was a big moment because that, someone like Martin and Amnesia saying, giving us that brand, we obviously it wasn't like, it's not a favor, but because we elevate his brand at the end of the day. But for us to sell that event out for him in the first time and take it to the best venue in the country, Printworks, is great. But there's a lot. But there's a lot of proud moments where you kind of go, wow, like this is great. And but proudest probably would be selling out the festival. Yeah.
So from all of your experience, what advice would you give to somebody that is starting to organise their own events?
I'd work harder than anyone else.
Yeah.
That's what it boils down to, really. Like, you need to have a good team around you. Like, it's very, like, I could talk about the basics about, like, how to run an event, but I think those are things you can learn. Those are not that difficult. But it's working harder than anyone else. Simple as, like, that's why people succeed. They just work hard.
You're quite a small team as well. There's not many of you.
No, there's literally, like, 4 of us. A 4th edition was literally just brought in last week. And then our director. And so you just have to work, but it's not working hard isn't just like running yourself to the ground or doing loads of emails. That's not working hard. It's just like, it is, just putting more, if you put more of your time aside to working and if you enjoy it, you will just succeed more. That's just a fact. Like, there will be people who are smarter than me, more intelligent than me about certain things, but they don't work harder than me. So, and that's why I will succeed more so than other people, maybe. And I know people who are like naturally very gifted, but if you don't apply that gift, then you're not going to really get anything. And it also just do, first impressions count. So do something that's not different, because there's very, very few things out there that are different. There's a lot of regurgitated stuff. So when you see something, you've normally seen it before, but it just looks better this time. So. But yeah, that would be it. Just work harder. But I guess everyone thinks they work hard anyway, right? They go, I work really hard. It's like, but you need to work hard in a sense where you are obsessed. Yeah. You're obsessed with your job.
You need to kind of live and breathe.
You do. But at the same time, you also, you live and breathe. But it does come with, like, does come with its cost. But I'm not going to complain because, I've been brought up in a way where, my mum and my parents looked after me very well. I lived a good life. So there's no excuse for me not to go and succeed. There's no excuse. Like, there's no excuse. I went to good education. I played sport. I was looked after. I had meals. Like I had a house. Like, it's cool. So many people out there who go through such rough backgrounds and manage to succeed. So for me, that's what drives me. Like, there is no excuse for me not to succeed in what I want to do because what my parents did for me.
Amazing. Rob, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This has been fantastic, and good luck for the rest of the year. I know you guys are super, super busy, but you're all going to smash it. You always do.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Kate.
Thank you.